All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday morning, December the 9th, 2020, and it's good to be together. I think we've got a small group at this point, but let me say good morning to whoever's with us. We've got my mom. Good morning to you, Mama. I love you. Hope you're doing well. Good morning to Kelly. Good morning to Wendy and John. Good morning to Pat and Lori and Cher. And good morning to Jim and Sarah and Nicole, and to Elizabeth and Philip and Jesse and Salome. Good morning, you guys. Good morning to Kayla, and good morning to Jerry and Janet. So that's who's with us so far, and I hope you guys are having a great morning. It's the 9th. We're going to look at Psalm 39 this morning. Psalm 39. And this is it's a lament psalm. It's a prayer. It is a psalm that has, it really is, it's an important psalm. It's an important expression of prayer and of trust and of faith. And when you're experiencing things in your own life that you don't understand, when you're experiencing pain, it's possible that the psalmist is that at this point it's a psalm of David, but that he may be sick. Some have suggested that this is perhaps near the end of his life. So how long is left? We don't know exactly the context and what's going on, but we do know that he's in a point where he's facing a moment or a season of potential disillusionment where the circumstances of his life don't seem to line up with what he's expected. And so he it opens up here, and he says, I will guard, I will shamar, I will shomer is to guard, to watch, pay close attention. He says, I will watch or pay close attention to my ways, the word derech, my ways, to my ways, and it says, so that I will not sin with my tongue, or it can be my ways from sinning with my tongue. I'm going to watch what comes out of my mouth right out of the gate. He said, I'm going to guard my ways, and so that I will not sin with my tongue. I'm going to be careful about what comes out of my mouth. So here's what he's going to do. I will muzzle my mouth while the wicked are before me. So what you potentially have here is he's dealing with, and you'll see this as we go through the psalm, is he's dealing with, I wouldn't necessarily say a crisis of faith, but what he's dealing with is a wrestling. There's a wrestling with God, and he has some things that he has to bring to the Lord, and that he's going to deal with before the Lord. But while the wicked are in his presence, while those who don't know the Lord or walk with the Lord are in his presence, he's not going to say anything or do anything that will slander the Lord. He's going to lift up. So he's going to muzzle his mouth. He's going to hold it tight. I will guard my mouth with a muzzle while the wicked are, it uses before me, but it uses the word nagad, which is revealed while they are, while I can see them. They're revealed to me. So, he says, verse 3, so I became utterly speechless, or he says, I became like bound speechless. Ne'elamti, I became bound speechless, domia, and silent, still, not moving, not saying a word. I'm not moving. I wasn't going to say anything. I kept silent, even from good. But my anguish, and I used the word here is ka'av, my anguish, my pain, my suffering was stirred up, or ne'ikar, it became agitated. It became worse. So I'm not going to sin with my mouth. I'm going to muzzle my mouth. But the more I held on to it, my situation didn't get any better. The pain, the agitation became worse. Verse 4, my heart was hot within me. While I was musing or groaning, sighing, the fire burned. So, like, he's sitting there and whatever he's holding in, it's he's not going to say anything. He's not going to sin with his mouth. The wicked are present. He's going to muzzle his mouth. But whatever he's dealing with is burning within. But what he does is he doesn't take it to them. He takes it to the Lord. And so he says, then I spoke with my tongue. So when he decides to lift up his voice, when he decides to speak with his tongue, he takes it to the Lord. In verse 5 he says, let me know, Adonai, Yada, let me know, let me really know, it says, my end. Let me know my end and what the number of my days is. But it's not the number, it's the midah, the measure, the size, the consequence, as it were, of my days. Let me know how short-lived or fleeting chadal I am. For I am, it uses just ani, so it is like it's an emphatic I. So Lord, what I need to know is what's the point? What's going on? What is the significance of my life? What's the purpose? That's what he's wrestling with. That's part of what he's wrestling with. He's not just spouting it out for all to hear, but he's wrestling with this. I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand. There's this conflict within. He's dealing with something that he doesn't get, whether it's actual physical pain in his body, whether it's sickness, whether it's a sense of injustice, or he's seeing what's happening and he's like, I'm going to hold it. He sees wickedness around him. Whatever that is, he takes it to the Lord. And he's trying to, what's going on, Lord? Help me understand my purpose, my life. Help me, to know the significance of my life. It's fleeting. My life is fleeting. He continues here. Look, behold, Hine, you made my days mere handbreadths. It can feel like my day is my life is a marathon, but you made it. It's not very long. My lifetime is as nothing to you before you, again, disclosed to you. It's nagad. Again, it's my lifetime is as nothing, is as a breath. Surely for certain, all humanity is but a vapor. And in some translation it says even at their best, because there's a word there that is like even when they're in their standing, when they stand firm, that all humanity is all breath, is what it says. All breath is all humanity, even in their standing. That it's just a breath. You made it that way. Verse 7, he says, again, there's this certainty. Surely humanity is a breath. Certainly, as a shadow does each man walk, is what he says. As a shadow. B'tsalam yithalach ish. Certainly as a shadow. Everyone goes about as a mere phantom. And then again, hevel. Certainly as a breath, as a vapor. They are making an uproar in vain, heaping up stuff. Now, literally, there's a lot of extra words that are put in here in English, but literally it says certainly, hevel, certainly a breath. Certainly they are a breath. Yehamai un yitzbor, a roar, this loud noise, this din, they pile up. So it's this loud piling up of stuff, this loud amassing, but it's just a breath. It sounds like a lot, seems like a lot, but it's nothing. It's nothing. They heap up all this stuff, yet not knowing, they don't know who will gather it. What do we, everyone's looking to gather. So what's the point? What's the purpose? Help me know the significance. I look around and all humanity, everything that's going on, he hits this moment. It feels like the book of Ecclesiastes, like the Kohelet, like the preacher of Ecclesiastes saying, it's vanity. What's the point? What's going on? And everybody's heaping up a loud noise, a din of heaping things up. They don't even know what they're keeping it for, or who's going to get it when they're gone, because life is but a breath. And so then he continues, he says, Ve'ata, and now, Makiviti. And now, what is my hope, Adonai? What is it I'm waiting for expectantly? What is it, Lord? What do I wait for? What am I looking to? He answered. The question is now answered. My hope, it is in you. There's that. Even though you don't see it in the English here, there's an emphatic it. My hope, it is in you. What am I waiting for? What am I expecting? The only thing I can look for, man is but a breath. Everything everyone's looking forward to piling up. When I get this, you ever had that experience where you think there's this something that you want. You go to the store or whatever, and you see it, and you can't afford it yet, and you think, like, it's this, I want that. And when you finally are able to get it, you've got it, but it doesn't meet the longing. The reality doesn't meet the longing. And that's kind of like everything everyone's working for, piling up. It doesn't meet the longing because the longing isn't actually for any of that. The hope isn't in any of that. Certainly, he says, my hope is in you. It's in you. You're what I was made for. You're the one that I was longing for. So as he's wrestling with this, as he's looking at what he doesn't understand, you have intention at the same moment. In the same psalm, you have the difficulties, the pains, the anguishes of life, a life that he recognizes in the presence of God is fleeting. And all the stuff that we're focused on is fleeting. See, as he comes before the Lord, he has this perspective. He says, my hope, what I'm looking for, what I'm waiting for, is in you. You're the one I look to. So now he calls to the Lord, rescue me, deliver me, Natsal, snatch me out, pull me out from all my transgressions, from my pisha, which is his guilt, his rebellion, the things that he has transgressed. Lord, I need you to, where I have stepped over the line, where I have intentionally crossed boundaries, transgressed, property, areas that I wasn't supposed to. Would you reach down and deliver me from that, from what I myself have done? Snatch me up from that. Do not make me the scorn of a fool. Or it says, do not make me an insult fading. So the word for fading or withering can sometimes be translated as a fool, but it could be translated, do not make me a fading mockery. Because his life is short. So as I'm withering away, may my life not be a mockery, an insult, a taunt that is fading away. Verse 10. Again, he uses this language that was earlier in the psalm. Ne'elamti, I have become speechless, bound speechless. The basic sense is my lips are tightly shut up. My lips are tightly closed. I am speechless, not opening my mouth, for you have done it. And what he's recognizing is whatever's going on, I'm gonna, now that I've come to you, I've brought it to you, I trust you because I recognize that you are at work. What I don't understand, when I have pain in my body, when I have pain in my circumstances, when I don't understand what's happening, here's the thing, I trust you. My hope is in you. You are at work. And that's what we see reflected here, is a trust in what God is doing when I can't understand it. But he calls out to the Lord, remove your scourge from me. It's to remove it's naga, but to be touched with affliction. Remove the affliction from me. Ani, I perish. I am finished by the blow of your hand. There's a recognition even that what he's experiencing, he's saying, Lord, this is something you have done, you're doing. And so now he's calling on the Lord. There's even the recognition that and we'll see here in this next verse that what he's experienced perhaps is disciplinary. He's at that point where he's recognizing maybe the Lord wants to deal with me. I'm not going to just spout out. I want you, Lord, to deal with me. I'm going to bring it to you, and then I'm going to listen. What do you want to show me? Bring me understanding. And then remove the affliction from me, Lord. I ask you, remove your affliction. It will finish me. Verse 12, he says, with rebukes, yachach, with correction, yachach is to reason together. So as you speak to me, Lord, with rebukes, you chasten me, you admonish me, you discipline me. With rebukes, you chasten one for iniquity, and you consume like a moth what he finds pleasure in. Right? So what he's recognizing is anything that's going to, the Lord will rebuke and admonish us. He'll discipline us. And that which would lead us away from him, the thing that would draw us away from him, he will melt that the way a moth melts in the light when it goes to the fire. You're going to, as it goes to what will kill it, that's the picture you have here of a moth going toward the light, but going toward the light of a fire. And as it gets closer to the fire that it's drawn toward, it's melted. And what it's saying is the very thing that will end up, that is drawing me away, the very thing that I take pleasure in that will lead me away from the Lord, he himself will consume that, will melt that, and rebuke me because of his great love. So if what I've lost, if what I'm experiencing is to get me on the right path, then I'm okay with that. My hope is in you. My trust is in you. And then you have this coming to the Lord, asking the Lord to remove it, and yet at the same time recognizing that perhaps the Lord is using whatever the psalmist is experiencing as a form of discipline, correction, and therefore instruction. That sometimes pain is our teacher. Right? Sometimes pain is what gets our attention. Sometimes that's what awakens us from our slumber, awakens us from our lethargy, or when our discomfort is taken away and we go, God, I need you to intervene here. My hope is in you, not in all the stuff I've been piling up. Verse 13, he continues, and surely all humanity is but a vapor. So he remembers again, he's just recalling that this is not about, the focus isn't about the brevity of what's happening in the shortness of my days. It's all just a breath. It's all a vapor. It's gone. Verse 13. Shema tiflati, hear my prayer. And a tiflati has to do with a prayer concerning judgment from the word falal. So God, hear my request to you concerning my judgment, concerning your decision about me. Hear my prayer, Adonai, and listen, turn your ear to my cry. Do not keep silent. Do not remain inactive or be still at my tears. Please move. Please respond. There's a softening that's happened as he's brought it to the Lord. Remember earlier, he was angry. He wasn't, I'm not going to talk to others. There are wicked people here, and I'm not going to talk to them, talk about this in front of them. I'll keep silent. I'm not saying anything. But then I came to you, and the Lord said, what's the point of it all? I don't understand. And he brings it to the Lord. I don't understand. His heart was hot within him. He was angry, and he brought it to the Lord. And as he brought it to the Lord, he gets this perspective. So now he's in a place of humility. He's recognizing that perhaps even what he's experiencing is God's trying to bring discipline to his own life. That God's trying is admonishing him and correcting him, and is using what perhaps what he has been drawn to. The Lord is taking that away in order to refocus his attention. So he says here, Listen to my cry and do not keep silent at my tears. For with you I have become an outsider. With you I am an outsider or a stranger, a ger. An outsider I've become, a sojourner. He's like an immigrant, basically, someone who is dwelling in a land that is not his, as all my fathers were. He's recognizing now that this land, this earth, this life is not his ultimate destination, is not his home. When it comes to you, Lord, this isn't where my focus is. Right? As with my fathers, I'm just passing through kind of thing. We used to sing these songs, but I'm just passing through. I'm a sojourner. This isn't my home. Verse 14. It says, turn your gaze away, hasha, which is, turn your gaze away from me. It's hasha mimeni, which is, hasha is, it's not, usually turn away is a different word. That's not, the word here is blind yourself, to blind oneself to, or smooth over, smear over, like, so when it comes to me, Lord, would you, there's a need for the Lord to not hold me guilty for what I'm guilty of. Would you do something, blind yourself to what is in me? Turn your gaze away from me, and again, so that I may smile again. He says, turn your gaze away from me so I may smile again, or smear over what's been going on, smooth over what's been going on in me so I may smile again. Before I depart, before I go, I walk and am no more. So before my life is over, would you deal with this? So this with me. And so what you have here again is it's a psalmist that's bringing his pain, bringing his in a dark point of life, maybe near the end of life, maybe dealing with a lot of physical pain. But the thing is, look, he's at a place where he recognizes that as he begins to wrestle with the Lord, as he wrestles with the Lord, that he hasn't grown past the point of discipline. Right? You're never, when it comes to the Lord, it doesn't matter if you're 8 or you're 80. When we don't get to a place where we say, well, I'm now a spiritual giant. The Lord is not as though the Lord would discipline or correct me now. I've grown past that. No, because we're all babies to him, yeah, just at different points in life. We're at different places in the stage, but we're never past the need for his admonishment, for his discipline. And even in our older years, in our later years, sometimes we can become, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks kind of thing. The idea, the issue there is it talks about sort of the hardening of our ways. And sometimes as we get older, we become less pliable, right? We become less tender to what the Lord is trying to say to us. And so he has to use other means to get our attention. Sometimes there can be the arrogance that we experience as we get older, thinking, I've learned that, I've been there, I've done that, I know this lesson, oh yeah, I understand that. To the point where we're in our arrogance, we can't actually hear, we're not coming from a place of humility where we can actually hear what the Lord is trying to say to us. And so the psalmist says, hey, I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to listen. And then I'm going to bring it to you, Lord, and I'm going to wrestle it out with you. And again, you have that conversation. So continue to bring it to the Lord. Bring to him all of your pains, all of your loss, all of the things you don't understand, the things you don't get. How come? What's going on, Lord? Can you please tell me what's the point of all this? And bring it to him in honesty. And then let him, by his Spirit, soften your heart. And perhaps what we'll see in that process is he doesn't want us to focus out there. He's wanting to do something in us. He's like, I'm not done with you, kid. I'm not done with you, kid. There's some hard spots in your heart that I'm working on. Let's keep bringing it to him. Amen? All right. Well, let me say good morning good morning to Ron and Amy. Good morning, you guys. Good morning to Dayspring. And Dayspring is writing in a different language that I don't understand that. Fesgar, math, chiamar, athathu. I don't know. I don't know what that means. But good morning. Good morning to you, Dayspring. Or good evening again. And let me see here. Good morning to Tim and to Cindy. And good morning to Kathleen, and good morning to Sonia and Margarita. Hope you're doing well this morning. All right. Okay, well, I think that's everybody. Oh, Charlene. Good morning, Charlene in Texas. And Terry, shalom. I almost missed you guys. Sorry about that. All right. Okay. Well, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Shalom, shalom. Have a beautiful day.